Hello and welcome to the agenda. I am Ajay Kaul. Today we will discuss about the freedom struggle in Sindh in Pakistan. Just a few days back, there were demonstrations and rallies in Sindh highlighting the demand for freedom from Pakistan. A prominent feature of the protests was the display of posters of Prime Minister Narendra Modi along with other world leaders like incoming US President Joe Biden. So what is this freedom movement of Sindh about? We will try to understand this in this episode of the agenda today. To help us understand the issue, we are joined by Mr. Zafar Sahito, who is the founder of GA Sindh Freedom Movement. We also have with us Mr. Jitendra Kumar Oja, who is an expert on geopolitical affairs. But before we begin our conversation, let's have a look at this small report.
People of Sindh have been struggling for freedom from Pakistan for the last nearly 50 years. They are feeling disgusted because of the extreme atrocities and torture meted out to them by the Pakistani state authorities and agencies. People of the region are victims of abduction and illegal detentions carried out by Pakistani authorities. Minority Hindus and Christians are subjected to forced religious conversions and marriages and rapes. Few days back, people of Sindh took out pro-freedom rallies to mark the birth anniversary of GM Sayyid, the vocal proponent of Sindhu Desh, or a separate country for the province. Significantly, the demonstrators carried placards which show the photograph of Prime Minister Narendra Modi along with those of other world leaders like incoming US President Joe Biden, French President Emmanuel Macron, Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia Mohammed bin Salman, Russian President Vladimir Putin, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, British PM Boris Johnson. The posters had just one message: Sindh wants freedom from Pakistan. Bureau report.
Now let's welcome our guest, special guest, Mr. Zafar Sahito from USA and Mr. Jitendra Kumar Oja from Delhi. Welcome to the program, both of you, sir. So I'll first go to Mr. Zafar Sahito. We have seen about this movement for freedom in Sindh, and recently we saw demonstrations and rallies in support of the demand. Can you explain to our viewers what is this Sindhu Desh freedom movement?
GA Sindh freedom movement and the Sindhu Desh struggle, our founder and our leader, Syed, he was born in 1904, 17th January. So, what you are saying, these protests what taken place before, it was actually the celebration of Syed, the birthday, 117th birthday. And every year, from all over Sindh, they come to Sindh, is the birthplace of Syed and where he married. So every year, people come from Sindh and they pay their tribute to GM Syed. And we prompt again to GM Syed that we are going to create our Sindhu Desh, which was dream and a ideology given by GM.
Right.
Okay. Who was GM Syed? GM Syed was a political leader who converted Muslim League win in 1946 in the elections from Sindh within one vote. Muslim League win the constitution in creation of Pakistan. Actually, Pakistan was created, you know already that it is it was created by by British to gain their personal interest.
Right.
And after the creation of fake Pakistan, which was not before, nobody has heard Pakistan in country which was having the name of Pakistan. Pakistan was created on the theory of two nation conspiracy. That in this subcontinent there are two nations, one is Hindus, one is Muslims. But it was just an agenda, was in just agenda of British to
Yeah.
create a border between Russia and mighty India. That's why our Netaji Bose was murdered. If Netaji Bose was going to live at that time, this partition
Mm.
of Hindustan was have never been done. 1947, Pakistan was created on two nation theory. 1948, Balochistan was just invaded by Pakistani government. Sindh joined with Pakistan because the resolution of 1946 43 was saying that Sindh is going to be a autonomous and sovereign state. But after creation of Pakistan in 1947, they denied our power, they denied our right, they denied our autonomy, they denied, Pakistan denied independent government of Sindh, but it all fall in the hands of Punjab, which is the ruling class of
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
Yeah.
And we had 65% military belong to Punjab.
Okay, Mr. Saito, I'll come back to you on that. We have another guest, Mr. Oja is waiting. I'll come back to you. Mr. Oja, you heard about what Mr. Saito was saying about how Sindh became part of Pakistan and how now they are trying to wriggle out and they want to come out of that. What you will say on that?
First of all, I must thank you, Ajayji, for organizing this discussion and getting me in. I must thank Mr. Zafar Saito. I admire his courage, and what he's saying makes a lot of sense. It's very true that, British wanted to destroy India as a civilization, as a receding colonial power, and they created this poison of Hindu-Muslim and this nation theory, and they broke us apart. And I am one person who strongly believes that India or Indian civilization or civilization state of India extends from Afghanistan and goes up to Indonesia. But within that, I am not saying that all these countries have become part of India or we don't have to be imperial, not at all. They can be our associates, we can be some kind of loose confederation, but of our common values, common heritage. Because Islam also, what Holy Prophet of Islam taught is very close to what is already written in our Upanishads, and some of the best Islamic clerics have that. But the British wanted, or rather the colonial power wanted to, as he mentioned, Mr. Zafar mentioned about the Anglo-Russia rivalry, and because of that they created it. And Pakistan is an artificial state. It is not a real state. No history, not at all. They are trying to bring in this lobby of Islamic radicalism. Ruling establishment, ruling clique is a military, this thing. And they are thriving on Islamic radicalism by fanning Islamic radicalism. They are supporting global crime. At one point of time, they act as strategic tool of Western colonialism. Now they are acting as pawn of Chinese. And they have no commitment at all to people over there. And let me tell you, with his movement, we should tell people of Pakistan that we are their biggest saviors and not the military ruling establishment, which is just using Islam and military power to oppress them and oppress different regions, their linguistic rights, their cultural heritage. Sindh has a longer civilizational history going to millennium, much older than Chinese civilization, much older than
Right.
you can say English, Greek, and Roman civilization. So this is very courageous on his part to come out with something, and I hope that apart from Sindh, Balochistan, etc., all these movements move forward. Islam is a humanist religion. We should think of a humanist movement, and there's huge connection between Islam and our teachers. And whenever Holy Prophet of Islam talked about Hind or Sindh, he talked with a lot of admiration and love.
Right.
So, so this is remarkable, I would say. India should go out of the way to assure people of that region that we are the biggest benefactor, we are the biggest saviors, and we have to destroy this concept of nation theory. This is very critical for a better world and for the peace and happiness of everybody in this subcontinent. All are one.
Right. So, Mr. Saito, I come back to you. You were earlier mentioning about that Pakistan domination on all other regions or parts of Pakistan, or like Sindh, Balochistan also you mentioned. So why is there that problem with the Punjabi dominance?
I think, Punjab and Punjabi people, they served British very well, and they were always a greedy nation to control power, which they serve very better way to British. So they feel that this is their right to control everyone. How they gave the service to British, now they are reaping for this. The problem with Pakistan from they started, it was that in Pakistan
there was no democracy. In 1948, when British created intelligence agency ISI, which is still sponsoring state terrorism everywhere in the world, in the Sindh, in the Balochistan, what happened with Kashmir, what happened with Bangladesh 1971. Who can forget?
Right. So
From day first, all other nations, Pakistan is not a Pakistani nation. Pakistan is forcefully combined. Many nations are living over there. And from day first, when Pakistan was created, they denied our language, they denied our culture, they denied our history. Sometimes I feel very proud that I am a Sindhi. I am from Sindh. I am from Indus. I am from Indus civilization. I am from Sindhu Saraswati Mata civilization. And to counter my identity, look in this way. British gave the option to Jinnah, okay, that your new country, you should make the name of India. He rejected because he was knowing that India is derived from Indus, and Sindhi people will be more dominant in this region. So they didn't wanted it. So, as like I told you, what happened with Bangladesh, always Pakistan means one central government which is run by Punjabi establishment, a elite class which controls everything in Pakistan. And behind that is Pakistani intelligence agency, which is running now the show on Muslim Sunni military. Means if you are in Pakistan, if you are not a good Sunni Muslim, if you are not belong to military, if you don't belong to upper class of Punjab, you don't have right to live.
Right. So
from where this Pakistan came, where Christians are persecuted, Hindus are persecuted. 26% was the population of minorities, and now you look, it is 1.3 for Hindus. Where hell these are gone? Sindhi Hindus are every day persecuted in Pakistan, especially in Sindh. It is not matter of concern our identity. You know, genocide is carried out in many ways. Genocide is not only that someone will shed your blood. Genocide is your cultural genocide, your language, your history, your identity. I am a secular Sindhi. Have you ever heard that any Sindhi has carried out a bomb attack on anyone? No, we Sindhi are peace loving. Or any Hindu has carried out any attack in the world? No, it is whenever you are looking in the nurseries of terrorism, state-sponsored terrorism. Is India has attacked any country? No. Is India has attacked any nation? No. It is Pakistan.
So, Mr. Zafar, if I ask,
From day first, they are doing these things.
Mr. Zafar, if I ask
They are
you,
carrying out. I am. You know why we want now Sindhu Desh? Because I don't want to lose my secular identity.
yeah, that is what I want to ask.
Pakistan
Yeah.
is changing my demography. They are getting settled, and now they have bring us one dragon of China. And it is not only for us. You know, from Karachi, Mumbai, how you can look even Mumbai, and Karachi port is now, who is handling Karachi port? It is in hands of China. It is not only problem with us. It is going to be problem with India also.
So, Mr. Zafar,
34,000 madrasas, 34,000 madrasas on that border of India. You know why they have made these 34,000 madrasas? To carry out the genocide of Indian people. If one Taliban like Osama bin Laden, he can, paralyze whole world for 7 days, and how many Taliban are going to be produced from these 34,000 madrasas? Can you imagine? It is not only concern for us. It is concern for India. It is concern for America. It is concern for you. It is concern for whole world.
Right.
And now China is supporting them. China is paying ISIS. China is paying ISIS pupil.
okay, Mr. Saito, Mr. Zafar, so I want to ask you, are you seeking liberation to be a separate nation or maybe to merge with India, as there are some suggestions? What do you want to do?
I think this question is pretty decidable now, because as the situation that we are looking in Sindh now, I think we are always together. We was part of each other. 1843 when British invaded, when British attacked Sindh. Sindh was a independent country, and we had our own prime minister. Before that, when Arabs attacked us in 1400, before when bin Qasim came, and our great Raja Daher hero, who was the king of Sindhu Desh. So we had always a history. If you look in Mahabharata, still you will find the Sindhu Desh in that time. So what I am saying, that it being with India, with Europe, like European Union, we can sit because we are same, but we don't want to lose our identity. That our identity, which is even as a Hinduism or Hindustan,
so Mr.
or
Zafar,
India, it is even taken.
Mr. Zafar, at the recent rally, we saw photographs of even Prime Minister Narendra Modi along with other leaders. So, what does it say? What does it convey? What are your expectations from India? Before I go to Mr. Oja. Yeah.
It is my birthright. It is birthright of every nation that if they want to demand for their country or demand for world help, they go for all the things. I don't think so that it is something which should be not done. While I am saying only it is still not on that level that we should go to give the opportunity to Pakistan to kill us, or carry out more, mass
Atrocities.
care
Hmm.
of Sindhi people. Yeah, so
But I am
still
asking.
it is
But
premature,
I
I
am
say.
asking, what are your expectations from India? Do you have any expectations from India?
As a democratic country, as a democratic power of Asia, India has to realize its power. India has to come forward, come from that comfort zone, and play the role, not only to save indigenous people, not only to save historical nations like Sindhi, Baloch, Pashtun, Kashmir, Gilgit, Baltistan. India has to claim back all the what India has lost, and give the message to world that we are superpower of Asia. Until India will not come out of their comfort zone, not been aggressive in helping other nations, uh, I think it will be fall for India also.
Right. So,
How China is getting power in region, India has to come out from that comfort zone and play a role. What strength, India is not something, some European country or what. India is mighty country, and India has to play the role. Not only in Europe, in Russia, everywhere, India has to show their influence and play the cards. It is the time now. You have great Prime Minister Modi ji. Now play the card.
right.
Don't sit, don't sit idle. And we are looking forward to India for this. That India will be the savior, like savior for 1971, savior of Bangladesh. We think that India is going to be, and it is a moral duty of a secular nation. You are a civilized person. India is a civilized nation, Indians, and we are same. We are not something different. We are not aliens.
Right.
You is derived from us. Why the Indian people is not understanding this thing? I feel really sorry when I listen these secular leftist, Marxist, and Leninist, and they come and say the humanity and secularism and all that stuff. Okay, first become a good patriot. First claim your identity. First become a good nationalist. Then you can become a good human. You are not even a good human, and you don't even you don't dare to talk if why Pakistan was created to destroy India, and why still is Pakistan there? You know why? Because they are playing the card of religion, and that same religion card is always disturbing India.
Right. So, Mr. Oja, you want to say something because you heard that India should play its card right now. It is time. So maybe you can say something on this.
Well, I find Mr. Zafar a younger version of what I was during my student political days. And he just expresses sentiments of, I would say, a lot of idealist young people in this part of the world. Two things I would say, Ajay,
Yeah.
that right from Indonesia or Southeast Asia up to Africa, I have been interacting with a lot of political leaders and social activists and civil society people, and all of them have a huge expectation from India. They
Right.
say China has nothing to offer because of its oppressive thing. It has been killing its own people. People have been disappearing. They have been accusing that, look, America is highly racist, all said and done. You have seen what happened in this insurrection on Capitol. Even element of racism was far more evident over there.
Right.
They say we look up to India, and India has to come up as a strong power. So I hope that all leaders in India, not only political leaders, but also corporate leaders, but also media professionals like you, everybody has to be aware that we are far older civilization than China, far older than Nile, Egypt, and others. But no, we don't believe in ourselves. So we have an obligation with our own people. We have to become a role model for the rest of the world. That is one thing. Pakistan, Mr. Zafar very correctly pointed it out. It's a ruthless kind of country. It is trying to deny its own history. Why Punjabi domination is there? Because the section of people who are there in leadership roles, especially in military, they were largely Punjabis. So they have to rely on an informal network of loyalists and supporters. And their whole objective is what? tomorrow, God forbidding, there's a problem in Pakistan, Pakistan's elite will desert Pakistani people and they will go and settle somewhere else because people are dying in poverty. Hundreds of thousands of people have died in that country, and still they have been talking all kinds of nonsense. This is an artificial creation by the West. West has to realize India has also, I agree with Mr. Zafar, India has to play its role. We are morally obliged as the biggest democracy in the world, oldest civilization. We are morally obliged, and we have to go beyond giving speeches. We have to have a much stronger security capacity and governance capacity, as I've been telling you, Ajay, and we have to pursue moral obligation to downtrodden people everywhere, any part of the world, especially in Asia and Africa.
Right. So, Mr. Zafar, I'll come back to you before we close. As Mr. Oja also mentioned, and you also mentioned that India has to play its card. But Pakistan already accuses India of interfering in Sindh, Balochistan, and etc., etc. What do you say on those allegations?
See, it is just a common thing that every country they have to do their things. But one thing I will tell you.
But is there any credibility in those allegations? I'm asking.
No. I completely say it is just to save Pakistani want to save their skin, and they are very good. Pakistani intelligence agencies, they are very good to secure the to secure their post in US, to get seats in United Nations, to get the favor through China, and they are propagating it. There is nothing like this.
Okay.
Because of China now, China is pushing them to exploit, to propagate more and more about India, to defame India.
Yeah.
There is nothing like this. I am a civil engineer here in US, and I do 2 shifts. I go for taxi. If I run taxi for what, to earn my something. If India is supporting how I should be having billions of property here.
Right.
No, there is nothing like this.
So it is all lies.
So it is all the game of conspiracy, which is Pakistan is very good at that.
I'll say one thing, Ajay.
Yeah, please. We have to close. Yeah,
Look,
please.
Pakistan has been controlling massive organized crime. I've been telling on your channel.
Yeah.
84% of the drug production is controlled by Pakistan by proxy. They have huge access to resources to fund something like terrorism or radicalism anywhere in the world, and this has come up. I'm not saying it, even the Western experts have said it.
Right.
Secondly, there is no rule of law in Pakistan. So anyone raises his voice, they are able to crush it very effectively.
Right.
So this is utter bogey or nonsense that has to be dismissed. And I would like to say beyond that, and India has never supported terrorism or violence, just not part of our ego. So Pakistan has been using India, to oppress minorities over there. So
Yeah.
international community has been turning a blind eye.
Yeah, I want to ask one.
And this is time that we build pressure.
Yeah, I want to ask one brief comment from Mr. Zafar. You mentioned about Bangladesh. So, do you think there are conditions in Sindh which are like Bangladesh before 1971? Brief comment, because we have to close.
Bangladesh, Sheikh Mujib was very good friend of and we Sindhi people also supported. We supported Bangladesh cause.
No. My question is: are the conditions similar to what were in Bangladesh or East Pakistan before Bangladesh came to?
Oh yeah, like I tell you, when before Pakistan was taking
briefly 1 minute, because we have to close. Yeah, 1 minute.
Yeah, 75%. 75% GDP was generated from Bangladesh. Now 65% GDP revenue is generated from Sindh. Bangladesh language was denied. Our language, Sindhi language, is denied. Bangladesh identity, and they treated them that they have black skin, they are poor, they are short, they cannot serve army, and now Bangladesh is mighty country. So same this they are doing with Sindhi people.
Okay.
We don't have any journal till now in from Sindh because they don't want to give that Pakistan is running on our resources. We are giving 75% natural resources are taken from Sindh.
Right.
We have the port, not the port. 95% transport and overseas export import is done through the Sindh. And
Right.
same still we are suffering. Still we are getting killed. Still they are denying
So what
our
so what-
existence.
So what I gather from Mr. Zafar is that there are conditions similar to what existed in East Pakistan before Bangladesh came into being and for the liberation war.
Okay.
Yeah,
One
but-
thing I want to add
our time
here.
is up. Yeah, please.
What have no, just one comment.
Yeah, one
how the Pakistan carried out genocide with Bangladesh people in Hindu people.
Right.
Same Hindu with Sindhi Hindus is going on now at this time.
Right. So we hope that you can pursue your goal and get your what you want to achieve. But thank you both of you for participating today in this debate, special debate. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you.
This is all in the agenda today. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with another important topic tomorrow. Till then, goodbye.